A question I have, and I think a lot of people who make YouTube videos have, is where do I put my efforts? I mean, and specifically, where is the balance between, for me, making YouTube videos and working to get films made? So where do I put the effort and how much do I put in each? It's a really difficult thing to work out, and it changes over time. So where do I stand on that? Firstly, a bit of an apology, I suppose, really. I thought I shoot in 4K, and I thought I was uploading to YouTube in 4K. And I was, but at some point it stopped, and I didn't notice. I think I've mentioned before, I'm not the most technical guy, so I was with my good friend Scott the other day, and we're just talking, and we looked through my YouTube channel, and he noticed that some things were in HD, which is fine, and some things were in SD. And I thought, what's going on here? And I didn't know what I'd done differently, of course, because I just didn't know. And when I got back from visiting Scott, I looked online about the correct way of doing it. I was just taking the fastest way to do it. And the correct way is as fast as the way I was doing it, but I was just, I don't know. I rested on my assumption that everything was 4K because it was before, which is, resting on your assumptions in any facet of life is not a wise thing to do. So hopefully this one will be 4K, and going forward there'll be 4K. And in a way it doesn't matter because, on a phone or on a tablet or something, or even on a laptop, it looks fine. It was only when we watched on Scott's really big TV that it became noticeable. So, and not in a bad way. I mean, no one's ever contacted me and said, oh man, the quality of your video, terrible. No one's ever done that. So that's a good thing. That means that maybe they're focusing on me and what I'm saying, whether they agree or not, rather than the quality. And I mean, not the quality of the video. And I think that's good. So I just wanted to say, and I think that's good for, a good message for anyone making YouTube videos. Everyone says it, and I'm just regurgitating it. But this experience tells me, it's true. I have first-hand experience. It's true. And that is that it doesn't matter what you film on, it doesn't matter the quality of the camera you're using. It's about what you're doing, or what you're filming, or what you're saying if you're doing a face-to-face, face-to-camera, piece-to-camera sort of video like this. So, never be shy to go out there and give it a crack, that's for sure. So, I'm going to, if about the balance for how much time and effort you put into the YouTube video versus how much time, in my case, you put into working to write scripts or trying to figure out ways to get films made or finish films or find money to put films in festivals, all of that kind of stuff. Where do you put the balance? For me, I see the YouTube channel as a way of sharing my filmmaking experiences and struggles and successes and my filmmaking plans, and the ups and downs that come along with that, trying to get things moving, any acting news that comes along. And I see it more like, certainly at this stage, more like just a conversation. It's almost like I'm, sitting down opposite a friend and updating them with what's been going on in my life. That's the way I look at it. It feels like that. And of course, I want people to support me and support my work and excuse me, have my back, and that all feels good. And I know I have that from a lot of people, and I really appreciate it. But that's all, in a way, in service of getting films made, because that's what I want to do. That's what gets me up in the morning. That's what I'm talking to you about. That's why I'm talking to you on YouTube. And it kind of goes full circle, because I talk to you about what's going on. I talk to you about, this week I'm writing scripts or whatever's going on. And that all helps towards getting things to a state where I can try and get them made. And when I get them made, it comes full circle, because I can show you, especially with shorter content, which is I'm focusing on getting made right now. I'm going to post it all on YouTube. Feature films, it's more difficult, because for distribution, you give it to someone, whether it's one of these online platforms like Film Hub or Indie Rights or someone, or a traditional sales agent or distributor, who you, unless you do it yourself and try and get them on, but it's usually easier to have some sort of help to do that. You kind of have to let that run its course, and it gets submitted to whoever it gets submitted to try and get on their platforms. And you can't also just have it running on YouTube, unless it's on YouTube's movies part. But short films, and I've got a number of them I'm working on, as well as a web series. You can put them on YouTube. I mean, there are festivals and things for shorts and things, but not festivals. I mean, you can get distribution for short films, is what I mean, and short web series and things. But for me, I'd rather, if I'm making short things, I'd rather make them, submit them to festivals, have them on the YouTube channel, and share it with all of you. And I can get feedback, and you can tell me what you like and don't like, and all of that helps. I think I went off on a little bit of a tangent there. So, my view is, here I have a very simple setup. As you can see, it's in my bedroom. I have a couple of lights. I put the camera over there. I start talking. I make a couple of notes, like on a scrappy bit of paper like this, and I just let things come out as they come out, because sometimes when you're talking, it's the act of talking about something which leads to ideas or memories or thoughts which don't come when you're writing things down. So I tend to, initially I had, 47 bullet points, and I made sure I hit every one of them, and I do another take and another take and another take, and that will crush your enthusiasm very quickly. So, and this way suits my style, and that's really important. Do what suits your style. So for me, I want to try and say things which you might be interested in, of course, but I'm also going to be honest. If I say stuff and you think, rubbish, then so be it. And please, if you think that, tell me in the comments. It's great. It helps. It all helps. So I want to focus on trying to get films made and support that by sharing with you how things are going, what's going well, what's not going well, did we get into a festival or something like that, and bring you along with me in my journey to get those films made. And that's my approach to YouTube. So I have a simple setup, even when I'm outside. When I'm outside, it's even simpler setup because it's all natural light. So all I need is a camera, a tripod of some sort, microphones, I'm away. But it's different for everyone. I realize that. And lots of people have gone from being, having a career in one area and starting a YouTube channel, and the career has become the YouTube channel. And for me personally, I can't see that happening for me. But, who knows what the future brings. But I enjoy the actual making of films. That's what gives me the most pleasure. It hasn't brought me fame and fortune yet, but and maybe never will. But I enjoy it, and it gives me a real lift. And just talking with people about the projects we have and discussing story things. I'm working on a script with, the writer Marcus is doing most of the work. And I kind of like when we have problems, because we get to thrash around the idea and what about this, what about that? And, you're not always going to have a solution. But the discussion is great. I read, Marcus had a first draft of a feature script, and I read it, and there was something which I struggled with, and he reminded me that we actually struggled with it when we met it a little while ago to discuss the script. And then I was blank. I had nothing, but he came up with a great idea, and we're working down that path now. So I love that. That's what I love. And then getting the opportunity to turn that into a film or a web series or something, turn that story on paper into story on film. That's what I want. That's what I love. And I want to use this channel to support all that. So I think it's difficult because I've seen quite a few filmmakers who have made that transition to full-time YouTuber, and you can sense in some of them the frustration because it feels like it's something they did possibly, and I don't want to read too much into it, it's just my interpretation, from need rather than want. I suspect all filmmakers would want to have the balance that I'm trying to go for. They really want to get their films made and use their YouTube channel to help with that. And as well, and helping with that is updating and, keeping people informed and all that. So, because once you go down that full-time YouTuber path, I think, particularly in the film area or tech area or, that kind of thing, if you're doing a day in the life of me every day kind of thing, then, it's pretty straightforward, I think. But even then, if YouTube is your full-time job, there's lots of things you have to consider. You're probably going to need, a variety of shots for every video. You're probably going to need a variety of backgrounds for your videos. you're probably going to need possibly a second camera, because you see a lot of full-time YouTubers will have one camera here and another over here to give you that other shot, side shot, and maybe one above, especially if they're, you know, obviously showing you a product. That's they have to have that. And all that, I actually made a little note about these things because I always forget. Oh, and lots of shot types, lots of B-roll. You know, there's lots of things that a full-time YouTuber would need to consider. And just all of that, it's a lot of effort and a lot of work goes into it. A lot of planning. So, you know, that could easily fill your days, easily. And that's just shooting. If you do all that as a full-time YouTuber, once you've shot it, then you've got potentially, when you're editing, you've got to pull together clips from several cameras, sound, dialogue, any graphics, CGI, it goes on and on and on. You've seen those, even if you don't understand editing, and I only do very, very, very basic editing. You've seen those screens with people who have their timeline for their editing, and there's all those lines, and each one of those is something. Camera, you know, footage, sound, effects, color grading, all sorts of things. It's just endless. And all of that needs to be lined up, and they need to have, you know, edited the right way. There's a precision that's required to do that level of editing and skill. So if you were a full-time filmmaker, full-time YouTuber by yourself, you would have a very, very busy job. And once YouTubers get to a certain level, they often have other people helping them, which makes sense because there's a lot to do. Excuse me. So that's not the path I'm taking. I'm not technical enough to ever give product reviews or anything like that, because, you know, as I think I said in an earlier video, it'd probably take me half an hour just to find the on switch. So that's not my thing anyway. And I want to try and focus everything around filmmaking, getting films made, and sharing that with you on this channel. That's what I'm about. So my balance is, you know, well in favor of you know, filmmaking, supported by what I do on this YouTube channel. Whether it's these vlog type videos, or when we're actually filming, there will be more involved videos, and almost certainly be someone else doing the filming. You know, we'll have shots of different locations we're filming, and maybe chats with different people, all that kind of thing. And I'll probably need help to do all that. Well, almost certainly need help. So those will be interspersed with ones like this. And when we're filming, there'll be fewer ones like this and more of those videos with, you know, filming day vlog type videos with all sorts of different shots and things. Yeah. Did I write anything else in? No, I don't think so. So I think that's the way I will always do it. I guess I'm looking at it like a package of working to get films made, and the YouTube channel is part of that. But I can share with you here, you know, when things are a bit, my darker days when things aren't going well as my great days when things are going fantastically, which is helpful, because I've mentioned before, I'm an introvert, and, You know, I need a lot of time alone to recharge my batteries, and to be able to share things with you this way is, for me, actually quite comfortable. And it feels, I know it's going to seem weird, but it feels kind of natural for me to do it this way. Because in life, I'm best talking with one or two people at a time, and I'm talking, to me, it's like I'm just talking with another person who's there. So yeah, the exception to that is I feel a real warmth and family feeling when I'm making indie films. You know, sometimes there's people that, you know, spoil the vibe a little bit, but it's the same in families, isn't it? So, yeah. So, sort of crowds when making films, and crowds when I'm with my family and close friends, I'm fine with. In fact, I love it. Other than that, I have slight reclusive tendencies, I have to say. But I know that that works for me. It allows me to recharge myself and keep going. Okay, thanks for watching. It'd be great if you could like, subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you think. And if you'd like to support me further, you can buy me a coffee. There's a link in the description below. I hope to see you in the next one.